In this video, I'm going to be talking about how Red X can absolutely blow up your business and why you actually might not need it. So stay tuned. These are the two best videos that I've ever produced on Red X. They got thousands of views and I know you're going to get a lot of value from it. My name is Mida and I sold 36 homes my first full year as a real estate agent, and that was primarily seller prospecting. Out of those 36 homes, 30 were actually sellers, and they came all from expired and FSBO prospecting. So stay tuned, and if you want to partner with me at EXP, click the link in the description. We'll have more details there. But first, real quick, you might be asking, what is Red X? Red X is a system that will get you all the data for expired listings, for sale by owners. You can do a neighborhood search so you get all the data in case you want to do just listed, just sold type calls. So you're going to get phone numbers. In some cases, you might get emails. And there's also a power dialer to make your prospecting sessions more efficient. A lot of agents will actually use Red X as their CRM system. A CRM system is a contact relationship management software. You definitely want a CRM system in your business to keep all of your clients in there, your prospect, your leads. It's really just a great way to make sure that you're doing a good job with your prospecting and your follow-up systems. And without a system like Red X, I definitely could have not been successful when it comes to seller prospecting. Without getting the numbers delivered to my system every single day, without having a power dialer, meaning I could actually automatically call up to 3 people at a time, there's no way I would have stuck with it. There's no way that every day I would have shown up and prospected consistently, because it's just too hard to every day, open up your laptop and try to find all the phone numbers for the expireds or the for sale by owners. It just takes too long. And to have to hand dial every single one, it would be tedious. In fact, I always relate a power dialer to being in a roller coaster in a really good way. If you don't like roller coasters, well, the power dialer still might be for you. So on a roller coaster, right, you're locked in, you're going up, 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 and then your stomach's kind of turning, that anticipation's building, and then as soon as you go down, it's like, oh my gosh, this is so fun. And you can't get out. You're on the ride. You're along for the entire ride. It's really the same thing for prospecting. Every single day when you're new to it, you might get a little bit of butterflies in your stomach because you're anxious to face really the rejection, right? With a power dialer, as soon as you hit go, you're kind of locked in because it just keeps calling the people for you. So if you get some rejection, it just goes on to the next one really fast. And before you know it, you're getting a lot of wins, having a lot of great conversations. So the rejection doesn't sting as much when it comes, and it will come. However, when you increase your confidence by getting those wins, because you're able to call the numbers so efficiently and the data is so good, so you're getting a hold of a lot of the homeowners, your confidence builds up so much. Within a matter of days, weeks, maybe months, if you're really affected by the rejection, it will eventually just subside and you won't even care. In fact, you'll know that every no gets you closer to a yes. Before I sold my real estate business and when I started prospecting back in 2013, I knew that for every person on the phone that said no, I was paid $85. How many no's would you get on a daily basis for $85 per no? You'd probably stand outside, the nearest mall and get no's all day. 100 no's is $8,500. And when you figure out your numbers and your numbers like that, it's like, okay, no problem. Let's go. Let's keep going. I really want to make the point of why you should be using a dialer. In fact, according to Prospecting Today, agents who use a dialer are twice as likely to earn $80,000 per year or more compared to agents who don't. Knowing that, you can't afford not to have a dialer, right? And I just wanted to read that to you because that's an amazing stat. Think about that. You're twice as likely to make $80,000 or more when using a dialer, and it's because you can work more efficiently. If you're making more contacts than every other agent on a daily basis, you're going to make more money. When you think of it like that, hand dialing is actually costing you money. Just think about it. So let's say I'm using a dialer and I can make 10 contacts per hour, but you're hand dialing and can only make 5. I'm essentially doing twice the amount of work as you in the same amount of time. So therefore, I should be making twice as much money as you. And I found that to be true. Within my first 2 years of real estate, I was one of the top agents in my office. And I give a lot of credit to using a dialer and having a strong data system like Red X. Another reason is prospecting is just harder hand dialing. It's harder without a dialer. And it's for a lot of the reasons that I'm talking about, but it's really just this mental thing. When you get rejected and you actually got to pick up the phone, you know, I've seen memes where it's like a 900 or the 800-pound gorilla sitting on the phone. It's so true. It's so hard to make that next call. The power dialer is literally going to power through that fear of rejection, power through that fear of calling. Now let's talk about how much the data costs and why you want to be paying for data. Now again, the data is just like the phone numbers, emails in some instances. RedX is far superior than pretty much every other system out there. It's one of the first to get into the game of selling expired data, for sale by owner data, neighborhood data, and it's one of the companies that I came to rely on. You see, what I found was there's some out there that are way more expensive. Sure, the data might be a little better, marginally better, but it's so expensive it really makes it cost prohibitive to use, especially in a market like we have today where there's not a lot of expired listings. And the dialer, to be honest, in this specific system that I'm not going to mention, was not very good at all. And then there's others that are cheaper, but the data is awful. You might as well not even be paying for data. So what I found with RedX is, for the value, it's the best system on the market. The cost is right there in the middle, and the data is superior than most other providers. So let's dive into what the cost is going to be for the data, and then I'll talk about what the cost is for the power dialer, and there's a few options there too as well. If you want the expired listing data, it's going to be $59.99 per month. If you want the for sale by owner data, it's going to be $39.99 per month. And if you want what they call the geo leads, which is essentially, you know, geographic or neighborhoods, if you want those types of leads for calling just listeds, just solds, just calling into neighborhoods, doing what we call circle prospecting, that's going to be $59 per month. RedX has come out with 3 different dialer systems, and I love the newest one that they came out with, which is the preview dialer. The preview dialer is $59 per month, but it's limited to 1,500 minutes. I think this is a great option for part-time agents, newer agents who just want to dip their toe in the water, see if seller prospecting is for them. Hey, it's not for everybody. I get that. There's a lot of other ways to be a successful agent. This is just the best way to be a top listing agent in your market for the lowest amount of money and in the least amount of time. So if you're a part-time agent or just want to dip your toe in the water, go ahead and sign up for the preview dialer. Now the next one is the single line dialer. Now this is unlimited minutes and it's $99. This is for the agent who really wants to take it to the next level. They want to be a top listing agent. They know they're committed. They're putting their money where their mouth is. They're putting skin in the game. They're like, hey, I'm in, I'm getting after it, but their budget's limited. Now you can really get some great results with a single line dialer. You're just not going to be able to make as many contacts per hour, so be mindful of that. Remember when I talked about the person who makes the most contacts per hour wins, the person who makes the most contacts per hour makes more money? Hey, I get it. When I started, I was putting everything on a credit card. I put my first coach on a credit card. I put everything on a credit card when I first started. So if money is an issue and you can't afford the next one I'm going to talk about, then go ahead and just sign up for the single line dialer, $99 a month, unlimited minutes. Now the third one is the triple line dialer. This is $149 per month and you get 3 lines, triple line dialer, right? Now this one is amazing, and this is the one that I always used. I was always calling with 3 lines because I know the more contacts I make, the more money I make. You want this dialer if you're all in, you're pot committed, you're ready to put your money where your mouth is. You're like, I'm going all in. This is me. I'm making this happen. Then go ahead and get this one. And honestly, for an extra $50 a month, like you could really like sell something in your house. I mean, a lot of you watching this, if you're younger, you know, if you're a millennial, you probably got some old video games laying around, video game system. Hey, get rid of that anyways. It's time to focus. It's time to make money. You can do something to make an extra $50 a month. So if you really want this, if you know in your gut, I want to be a listing agent, real estate's going to be a career for me, failure is not an option, then go ahead and get the 3 line dialer now. Honestly, if it wasn't for the knowledge that I just shared with you, thankfully I learned it within my first year of real estate. The first 6 months, I really didn't know what I was doing. But once I discovered that there was a system that could help me with seller prospecting, I went all in. And without it, quite honestly, I don't know if I would still be in real estate now 10 years later, financially free, building more wealth every single month through all of my investments and my residual income that I was able to create, have a real estate team of over 6,000 agents through eXp Realty. It's been a blessing in my life. So if this is something that you feel like you need to get to the next level, I can honestly say that there is no quicker way to taking listings. There's no cheaper way. Yeah, it's gonna take some hustle, it's gonna take some grind, it's gonna take some focus, it's gonna take consistent effort, it's gonna take practicing your skills, but I can promise you if you take it serious and you do it consistently and you're always leveling up your skill sets, you'll become a great listing agent. You'll have the leverage because you're the listing agent in your market. You'll be having a great quality of life because you have buyers showing your listings, submitting offers, and you're not out there just grinding, taking buyers around all day in your car, on weekends, on nights. You'll have the power of being able to create your schedule because you have the listings, and that is the best way to be a real estate agent, in my opinion. Now let's dive into the top 5 reasons you should not be using RedX. The first one is you want to be a buyer's agent. RedX is a great seller prospecting tool, but it's not really going to help you get buyers. Of course, some sellers end up also buying a house, but if you're kind of intimidated by listing houses, or for whatever reason you just want to be a buyer's agent, you don't see the advantages of listing houses, like not having to show buyers around on the weekends and nights and really be at their beck and call, and not being able to work, say, 5 listings in the same amount of time as it might take, say, 1 buyer. If you don't see all those benefits and you want to remain at buyer's agents, well then I definitely would not get RedX. The second reason I wouldn't get RedX, if you're not going to consistently prospect. Seller prospecting using a system like RedX takes a while. It's all about building your pipeline. So if you're not going to consistently do it and you're always getting excited and stopping, getting excited and stopping, you know, start, stop, well then you're not really going to pick up the momentum that you need to be successful in this. I found the number 1 key to success is consistency. With anything in life, right? If you're trying to lose weight, you got to work out and eat healthy consistently. You can't just do it for a week and stop. It's the same thing with seller prospecting. So you got to be consistent to be successful in real estate. Number 3, you're not willing to improve. If you're not willing to improve, you're really going to struggle with seller prospecting, and honestly with real estate in general. You need to be practicing your scripts. When prospecting for sellers, you got to be using a script. Now, the way you internalize it so that it becomes your own, so it doesn't feel like a script, is by practicing, and that's how you improve your skills. So the best way to practice scripts is by role-playing, by chanting, and you guessed it, by writing them out. When I first started selling real estate, I was practicing my scripts for 15 to 30 minutes every single morning before my prospecting session, and that allowed me to kind of get warmed up for my prospecting session, and it allowed me to improve my skills daily by practicing with 3 to 5 different role play partners. Then in the afternoon, I would read them out loud and I would write them out. Honestly, just 30 minutes to an hour for your first 90 days at this, you're gonna be a pro. Number 4 is going to be if you're not playing the long game. If you look at this like a quick way to get some listings, a quick way to get some sales, and then you're gonna move on to something else, this isn't the quick way, this is the long game. So it's really the mindset of short game versus long game. When you play the long game, you know with seller prospecting using RedX, you're building a pipeline using their tools, using their leads, using the CRM system to essentially create these nurturers, these sellers who want to list with you in the future when they're ready, or at least open to interviewing you when they're ready. I mean, think about this. If you prospect for 3 hours a day, you should be able to talk to about 30 people, 30 times 5 days, 150 people. Out of those 150 people, you should be able to get at least 20 to 30 that say, hey, we're not ready to list right now, but when we're ready, we'll be open to interviewing you. And you get them to be thinking that by saying, hey, totally get right now is not the best time for you to list your house based on this. You know, it's condition versus objection. If they're giving you an objection, you want to overcome that. If they're giving you a condition, you want to basically get off the call, create a nurture out of it. So you say, hey, totally get you're not going to list right now because of this. You know, your kids are starting school right now and you don't want to list while they're in school. Totally get it. But hey, by the way, when you go to list next summer, do you have an agent in mind that you're going to use or that you're committed to, or would you be open to interviewing me? You just want to make sure that they're not sold on like their neighbor, their brother-in-law, and that they'd be open to interviewing you. And then you just follow up with them on a regular basis using my VIP system that I'll link in the description. If you're generating 20 to 30 nurtures per week, think about what that would be over a year. Let's just say on the low end, you're averaging 20 new nurtures per week. Again, people that said they're going or are open to interviewing you when they're ready to sell. 20 times 4 weeks, that's 80. 80 times 12 is 96 or 960. That's 960 sellers who said when they go to list their house, they're open to interviewing you. Do that for 2 years, that's almost 2,000 people, 2,000 nurtures that are now in your nurture farm, I call it, that may hire you when they're ready to sell. Now, of course, they're all not going to, but eventually this becomes your pipeline that you're able to prospect, and you really don't even spend that much time prospecting for sale by owners and expired listings or just listed, just sold, because you have such a big nurture farm that you're able to work. This is the best strategy that makes prospecting so much more fun, because now you're just following up with people who already know you, you've already had a conversation with, and all the other agents who are prospecting them initially have already fallen off. And number 5, and this one's kind of silly, don't get Red X if you don't want to be a top agent in your market and drastically change your family's financial future, financial position today. Now, this one sounds a little silly, I know, but the reality is you're watching this because you want to be a top producer, but there's a lot of agents out there that just want to sell a couple houses, or they're part-time, or heck, maybe they only want to sell one a month. You know, the average agent, according to NAR, sells 6 a year. My first year, I actually was that average agent and only sold 6. But it wasn't because I had lack of desire. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have the right mentor. So once I hired a coach, invested in myself, started going to conferences, started seller prospecting consistently, only eliminated all other options, all other distractions, my business took off. I sold 36 houses my second year and became one of the top agents in my market. So within 2 years, after moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, not knowing anybody, I became one of the top agents in my market through seller prospecting using a system like Red X. And full transparency, I've used all the systems pretty much. I used Espresso Agent, I used Mojo, I used Vulcan 7, I used Land Voice. There's a lot of them out there, but what I found is Red X is the best all-in-one system for the price. Great value. It's not the cheapest, it's not the most expensive, but for the value, it's great. All right, so that's the video, guys. If you have questions about Red X, let me know, post them in the comments. And there's actually a free seller prospecting mini course that I created with free scripts and all the good stuff in the description as well. Sign up there. And again, if you want to partner with me at EXP, hear what all the free coaching and mentorship's about, then click the link in the description for that too. All right, see you guys in the next one.